We are at the James Beard House, and I am here with Chef Paul Berglund of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So tell me a little bit about your restaurant, The Bachelor Farmer.
Like you said, we're in Minneapolis. We're in a warehouse district that's kind of on the cusp of a regenerative stage. One of the principal inspirations of our restaurant has always been the region that we're located in. The Twin Cities has a large Nordic heritage. What really drives our food, the ambiance of our restaurant, is being in the heart of America's north. And so there are things that are identifiable connections to Nordic cooking that are just in the culture of Minnesota, which are preserving vegetables,
Right.
and meats, and smoking and pickling, and so you'll see those tones in our food, all over the place in our food.
Let's just talk about your background, because you're from the Midwest, but then you really started cooking in California, and
Right.
then you now are in Minneapolis. How has that affected you? Kind of being Midwestern, but not really having your training in the Midwest, and also traveling quite a bit.
Right. Well, it's great to be back in the center part of the country. California is a wonderful place to train as a cook. It taught me how to appreciate raw ingredients, raw material. One thing that has evolved for me in my understanding of food is that in the middle of the winter in Minneapolis, back in the center part of the country, when there's certainly nothing growing,
Right.
Like there would be in January in California.
Right, of course.
You have to work a little bit harder when you're using crops that have been in storage for 4 months. And I'll tell you, I love those crops, dearly. They're our lifeblood. You have to be a little bit more creative. You have to coax a little bit more.
And what are some of the products that you find that are really exciting about Minneapolis?
One of the things that, as a young cook, was kind of one of the things that I struggled with most were beets. We had, beet salads on the menu, and I had to prep them all every day. And I've come full circle to admire the beet above almost all other vegetables. Beets are to Minnesota what the tomato is to California. The beet represents kind of who we are. It's hardy, it's sturdy, and it gets you through the winter.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you
Absolutely.
speaking to us here at the James Beard House.
Thanks so much.